Film Cafe Short Film Saturday.
She's got to say it slowly to make sure you say it. But see, you're the one who decided that it should be on these specific days and stuff.
I know.
So what the fuck
There's
Friday,
just so many
quick
we
review
do.
Thursday, and they're all in a row. I mean,
know.
you know, it's awesome.
Difficult. But today, we are here with one of our favorite Indie Film Cafe directors and persons in general. We're talking about Nick Zedd.
Wait, are you favorite?
Oh, yeah.
He's your favorite movie. He's not
I love to
mine.
torment
I've
people
only
with
seen
Nick
one
Zedd.
movie of his, one feature.
This is Moody on the Mookow.
Okay, yeah.
And we are talking about the short film, also Spake Zarathustra, which was made in 2001, although it definitely has some early 80s, late 70s vibes to
Yep.
it. A black and white silent movie with a lot of music. Actually, the music's pretty darn cool.
I like the music was the best part.
The music
honestly.
was the best part.
Honestly, and we should mention that I think it's been about a year since when this comes out that Nick has passed away.
Right.
So we're sorry to the families and people who knew Nick very well. We miss him dearly. He should have been still making content, you know, for us to enjoy and have on our show. But
And
sadly.
John Vomit did a lot of the music and was acting in there. And this is your first Reverend Jen Miller experience.
I mean, it was a silent film, so she never talked, you know, or anything. So I don't know.
She had her ears on, though.
She had her ears on, yeah. You said she likes to wear the elf ears.
She loves elf ears, and she had, in her apartment in Manhattan, she had what she called the Troll Doll Museum,
Oh,
which is basically
interesting.
a very, very large collection of troll dolls.
Did she actually invite people up to check out her?
Oh, yeah.
Like, did she charge? She should have charged.
I don't know. But it was a rent control apartment, which she eventually lost, unfortunately. So I'm
You know
not
a
sure.
lot about her.
Oh, yeah. I had a thing for crazy little weird Reverend Jen Miller. She's pretty darn cute in a wacky kind of way.
Was she older than you? Was she older than you?
I would say we're roughly the same age.
You should hit her up. Get her on the show.
If I know where she is, I would love to get her on the show.
Well, do you know any information? Like, can you get? Are you on friends
You know
with her
who
on
might
Facebook?
know? You know who might know? If it's not Lloyd Kaufman, then I would say Tina Krause might know.
I don't think she knew that.
Because I mean, but they were all hanging out in that same area at the same time.
Oh, maybe.
So
I'll
I
have
bet
to
they
ask
have.
Tina later.
Yeah, I bet they have friends, mutual friends. But she was kind of like a cause célèbre in New York City for a little while. And as was Nick Zedd in his weird movies, this one is kind of based on Nietzsche, also Spake Zarathustra, and then also Man or Superman. So there's a lot of Superman stuff in here. There's a lot with dolls going on.
There's a loop scene where he does like the same thing, same scene.
Yeah, there's
twice.
words and not dialogue, but lines from Man or Superman that are in the film, and you know, a lot of general philosophizing and, you know, oh, are we apes? Are we just worms? I want to monkey fuck that. Not that Nietzsche ever said monkey fuck to my knowledge, but that's Nick Zedd for you. Now the thing about it is, of course, it's batshit crazy and what the fuck.
It is.
However, there are a few things I do like about this and about Nick Zedd movies in general when he bothers to really sort of, you know, try. I do like the music that he brings. It really kind of sets the mood. I like a lot of his visuals. Some of his visuals are very disturbing and very interesting compositionally, especially when you have things like when the one part where he was talking and it's just this white ghostly face in a sea of black and he's got a light shining on it. That looked really, really cool. And some of the other
okay shots, but
yeah,
I mean,
there were some good shots.
It was a little too weird.
If you're looking for traditional linear storytelling, you're not going to get that in this or most Nick Zedd films.
Yeah.
And the ones that he does like that are usually terrible. You know, like I've shown
sort of
you.
ironic, you
Yeah.
know. Well, no, I
Geek
mean,
Maggot Bingo, for example.
Geek Maggot Bingo was a little weird, like with the storytelling too, even. But it was more linear, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's not interested in that, you know. he comes from that whole underground New York City scene where it's all sort of like shocking people, and you know, he's not interested in following conventional movie telling tropes or movie telling styles.
He doesn't like a beginning, a middle, and an end.
No, not interested in that.
Yeah. I mean, whatever floats your boat. I particularly wasn't. This isn't something I'd race off to watch again. Like, it's just sort of, unless I want to go to sleep. This might put me back. Almost put me to sleep here. I kept fighting it.
I find it interesting. I just, you know, from an entertainment value, unless you're a Nick Zedd fan, you're gonna either be confused or
like
just bored.
Gary.
Yeah.
Gary is not a big Nick Zedd fan.
Well, I wasn't either for a long time until you finally divorce yourself from, like I said, traditional linear storytelling. Once you get past that he has no interest in that, then you can appreciate the other things that he tries to do. And sometimes he's successful, a lot of times he's not.
Yeah. And
you know.
Yeah, I can kind of tell that. I don't know. It was okay. It was, I mean, you know, honestly, it was better than Geek Mag and Bingo.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's not saying much. I mean, like watching Lint dry and stuff, like, I mean, that's more interesting, you know? Like, I mean, it's not, the problem I have with the movie is that, I mean, first of all, it's a silent film, right? Because they didn't have,
although it's not quiet, it's just no dialogue.
No dialogue.
Cue cards of different types.
And it feels like what I told Paul earlier was it felt like we were watching home videos that Nick was making of him and his friends. They probably, I mean, I almost felt like they didn't even know they were in a movie.
Yeah, like from the punk early 80s is kind of how it felt.
And they weren't actually saying exactly what was end up written on the cards, you know, because it didn't look like it matched what everybody was saying. Some people would talk longer, and then it would give this short little thing.
Yeah, and you know, like most Nick Zedd productions, these things take, you know, months and months and months and sometimes years to make. So
you probably didn't even know what they were actually saying.
I'm not surprised that there were different types of dialogue, you know, cards that were used there, because, you know, he may not have been able to do it the same way he did it a year before or whatever.
Yeah.
However long it took him to finish this film.
Yep. So it's 2001, and they made a joke about Christopher Reeve, which I guess would normally be in bad taste back then, especially. I mean, it didn't to me push any boundaries that made me feel uncomfortable, or didn't do anything that would have made me go, oh my god, I can't believe.
Well, and his character reacted in shock, so
Yeah.
I guess that's the
Well,
connection to the audience.
He's shocked because he loves Superman. So obviously, even though he had pictures of George Reeve that he loved, and you were saying that was a Spake Bank.
And it was some kind of weird potato thing with like a button in the middle, some kind of weird deformed face.
But what I'm saying is, like, yeah, there's a picture of George Reeve, so he was obviously a very big Superman fan. There's a lot of Superman references and superhero reference. I don't know.
Right.
It was.
Man or Superman.
It was okay. Like, I don't know.
See, the thing about it is, and this is the only thing I have an issue with Nick Zedd, is that he's attempting to say things metaphorically that are kind of beyond his talent level. I don't know of a nicer way to say that. Most of his films are kind of like that. I understand where he's kind of coming from and what he's trying to get to, but he never really ever seems to capture it, in my opinion.
Like, he wants to be these, like, experimental underground shit, but it's almost like he doesn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And I sort of agree with that.
I'm trying to think of, like, what is the name of that movie? Begotten. I think he wants to be kind of like that early Christopher Nolan film that's very, very
The Following?
No, or the black and white one where it's all grotesque and weird and.
Well, you did a movie called Following, but maybe you did another one.
It was before that. Begotten is the one I'm thinking of. That I have to show you.
Or how about like Pie or
pretty
something?
Amazing. Now there's a lot of Pie that I noticed in that too, because I don't know how familiar you are with Pie, but there's that whole thing, which by the way I love, and I'm a big Darren Aronofsky fan. but there's that whole thing in Pi where he's kind of the main character kind of trapped in his apartment and doesn't like coming out of it. And whenever he does, he runs into that Indian girl who's always trying to talk to him. And she's always like, oh, I brought you food and I brought you this. And
oh my God, I didn't even think. When I was thinking of Pi, I didn't even think that.
So yeah, that definitely rang some bells for me there.
Yeah,
so.
maybe he's a big fan of Pi.
I'm sure he was. Darren Aronofsky comes from that era in that area as well. So.
Yeah.
The sort of whole underground. There was a big underground scene in New York City.
Darren Aronofsky, I see old school Christopher Nolan. I see people who just sort of want to make something that has a point to it, you know, and get their point across. The problem is, like, this movie, they don't know how to, Nick Zedd doesn't know how to do it.
It's not easy to be metaphorical in a movie and still not lose your audience.
Philosophical and
it's not easy. There are films that are able to do that. Fortunately, at least Nick Zedd understands that if you're going to do this, you better do it in a short film and not try to do this in a long film. There are very few people who can do that. Jodorowsky is probably the only other director I can think of that is able to successfully do that over a standard format.
Yeah, even Aronofsky, when he did like Requiem for a Dream, that was still a great movie. That was still that was still linear storytelling. That was very experimental, but it was normal people could go and watch that and enjoy it. Normal people can't watch Nick Zedd.
Yeah, something like the only other thing I can think of that's along that lines that completely breaks away from that would be all of the things like the Koyaanisqatsi movies and all of those. And
never heard of those. Those are on Criterion.
I have them all on Criterion. Those are I did the one with Lenore for Criterion Watch, and she was blown away by it. And so when you have that level of talent, but also, let's face it, that level of budget, you can actually, make a movie like that. And remember, this is Nick Zedd. He's living on, dimes he finds under the couch and belly button lint, for God's sakes. So he's doing what he can with what he's got. And that's kind of why, even though I kind of, bust on Nick Zedd and his movies, at least he's trying. At least he's trying to do something
being himself,
different.
Man.
Being himself, So.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks for picking this one out. Just know you may see us wearing like a lot of the same clothes on each one of these things, especially if you watch them like back to back on our playlist, which we have. It's because we're gonna be shooting like 4 of them today, or no, 8 of them today, I think. So we're gonna be shooting a whole bunch. Back to back to back to back.
So get used to these threads, baby.
I know. Sadly, we have like some clothes to change, but that's about it. Like a little bit.
I brought some shirts and then I forgot them.
He did. I didn't.
I got some at the lab. I could run over there and change.
It's okay. I don't think they'll complain.
No.
But all right. Well, thank you guys so much for checking this out. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
And there are some Nick Zedd movies that are on YouTube. Go check them out. They're kind of funky, but
are they more shorts or?
Oh yeah, a lot of shorts.
Yeah. Short films through Nick Zedd. We might do another one. Who knows? One day. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely do one. Especially if there's one in particular I want to show you that's mostly, if not all, Reverend Jen, and show you why I love her so much.
All right.
Even Gary liked her.
Oh, so maybe we should get Gary on for that one.
Yeah, next time he's down, we'll get him to watch that one.
Yep.
Again.
Oh God. Poor guy.
Poor guy.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for checking this out, and hope you enjoyed it.
Bye.
Bye. You're running at Short Film Saturday. And wait a few seconds for the sound to kind of make sure that it doesn't have that beeping sound.
Come on, come on.